Salam, this is Hubb'Allah, a thinker, writer, visionary, homeschooling mother based currently in the Pakistan Himalayas. I've been doing a long series on ecofeminine, and I am breaking my stride today, breaking through that series to talk about what I think is a pressing issue. And the pressing issue at this time, November 2024, by this time, is making sure that we are generating an what I call an ecological spiritual economy directed by our spiritual and finer needs, the need to refine and employ human potential, the need to be grounded, the need to be loving and be loved, the need to be safe, the need to feel joy, the need to be in community, the need to be caring for your family, the need to feel the bliss of the divine that is, the divine has granted to us. And yes, I am a person who follows Abrahamic faith, so I speak in that lingo, um, and will be speaking in it more instead of making a vanilla secular version of what I have to say. But what I do say has applies to people of any faith or ilk, because I'm talking about generic human benefit, which, by the way, is the teaching of the God of House of Abraham, and the benefit is benefit that God gives to any and all of whose creation. Who is a pronoun hu that I use, and it is driven from a Muslim name for God, the name be who. Okay, so it's not he, her, she, him, whatever. It's just something I've been using for several years. So, um, for about the past 20 years, my project personally has been bringing the teachings of divine into our awareness, creating community, practicing remembrance becomes very hard because sometimes people are not up for it. They become suspicious. They want to sabotage you. They want to break you. Sometimes the circles themselves don't work out. So, by the way, I've left all circles that I was a part of, but I, in general, remember God, and this is what the baseline Muslim teaching is anyway. You do prayers several times a day, and you can do remembrance on your own, and you are deemed part of the human circle. Extra bonus if you can join sort of like a communal circle and chant the name of God there, are not necessarily required, because Muslims do pray at a certain aligned time. And so everybody in your city or village is praying together at the same time, wherever you have a shared time. Okay. So I left my corporate job, which was in media, by the way, about 20 years ago. 19 years ago. I started working for the earth and the environment. So I was driven in two directions, three, in fact, I would say. A very nice trifecta. One, the world of spirit and wanting to understand the divine and wanting to be close to the divine and to practice the divine. The other was the world of entrepreneurship, and the third was the world of caring for the earth. So I found myself really wanting to do business, but more than actually doing business, I taught people about business, but I also conducted a business in a way that wasn't really business, but more about immersing into what I call the economy of the real, which is a more grounded, earthen, handmade economy, low impact economy, an economy that cares for the earth, and that goes closer to the financial principles of Islam as well as the business practices of Islam. There are some very well defined business practices of Islam. It's not very constrictive, like um, you don't have like a recipe for doing business, but you are given some limitations and you're given some guidance and principles and some aims for doing business. I thought service was a really good aim for doing business, as well as realizing human potential. And that was really 20 years ago, that was really strange thing to bring together, that you're focusing on service, but as well as you're working on innovation and your own potential and joy. So service is not something that is boring or something that is that taxes you. And also, you don't put your potential in a jar and then forget it, and you don't forget your joy and forget it, but you bring it forth. So I felt that there was like a sweet spot where we could bring things together. I started also looking into ethnic cultures, native cultures, and I felt like they're checking some of the boxes. Like they're checking the box of being grounded, being handmade, but I'm not sure always joyful. And that happens when you become very constricted, or you being like enslaved by a system, or you have feudal lords, or you forget that joy and remembrance of God. Like remembrance of God is the purpose and the fuel, as well as it really gives to you, so you can attain to your joy in this world. And we have to trust the human species and our fellow human beings and ourselves. First and foremost, love ourselves, trust ourselves, that when we are left to our own devices, obviously in alignment with God, but own devices means like not being constricted by the human beings who are not elected to lead and guide us through a participatory process, but rather just try to hijack the system and impose control. Those are the kind of controllers that we don't want. Otherwise, we do need people who are guiding us, caring for us, and leading us through processes of maturation. And you need like a system, organizational system. This is something that I learned. Like you can't be what we call wine outside of a bottle. Like you can't be a spirit outside of a bottle. You can't focus so much on the spiritual principles that you don't have a container. But what you want to make sure is that there is spirit within, right? So it's the balance of the two, the balance of the spirit and the container, on which I'm going to make a separate talk. That is vital, and that is like a interesting mix to achieve. And one of the key factors I felt was motherhood. Mothers understand their children's innate potential and can guide their children to explore the potential. And men, I feel, the whole community working together, the men can support people in this journey, and the human society can decide that we are going to not only serve each other but also enjoy the products that we are creating for each other and enjoy each other's potential, and not hold us down to some kind of a grubby version of civilization, feeling like, oh, we need to live this forced, painful existence because this is a grounded and earthy thing to do. So I wanted to show people that it's possible to combine your joy and your personal realization with the teachings of God, that in fact the teachings of God were leading you towards your joy. Because when the teachings of God tell me to be good to the other, I am going to create the good for the other, which they're going to enjoy. But likewise, God is telling them. So I'm one person, and there are hundreds or thousands of people around me. Imagine thousands of people given the command to do the right thing. So if I go to a market or go to like any market space, virtually or physically, and then everybody's out there to delight me, doing their best, who gets to benefit? Me. I'm benefiting from hundreds of people, thousands of people who are all out to serve me. Not personally me, but me as a consumer and client. Like imagine walking into a place where everybody's focused on delighting their clients. And so as a client, if you go to like 10 shops, you're like, wow, I went to 10 people or 10 shops, and like everybody's doing their best. And so this is the kind of competition that we want in the economy as well. The competition to be excellent, the competition to be of service and feeling joy and giving joy. I have seen this kind of model in the Himalayas, by the way. There were some defects in the societies that I have been to where I have seen that, but they do have a focus on joy, which could seem kind of naughty at first when you're not used to it, and you're like, "What? Are they serious?" But they are, and the proof, as I say, is in the pudding. As long as they're producing something and the thing is good, this means they're really doing their work. They could probably do it better in some ways. They could be less naughty. They were naughty in some ways that I don't want to discuss here. But anyway, so it is the economy of the unreal that has been literally eating away at humanity. It's eating at people, it's eating at our money, and it's harming our earth, leaving us with fewer and fewer resources, on which competition, on the other hand, is rising. Not only legitimate competition, as like we need to lay claim to something, each of us peasants, but there's some kind of devious control that is arising, that we need to watch out for and reclaim the earth for ourselves. This is what I'm looking at, and so I have this lovely image at the back, kind of showing an earth and economy. And no, the image is not the image of the real; it is generated by AI. But we'll talk about that some other time. Thank you for being with me. This is Ramallah signing off. Ramallah Hubb'Allah. Stay with me and subscribe to my channel. Like, follow, subscribe. Thank you.